Dear Heavenly and precious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet here today. And even though it's raining today, Lord, we thank you for the good weather we're starting to have again. We hope that this is a good spring for all of Nicholas County. God, I just pray that every decision we make here benefits everyone as much as we can and leaves the county better off than where we found it. In your holy and precious name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll get on the record.
Recording in progress.
Okay, good morning. We're here for the Nicholas County Commission's regularly scheduled meeting of Wednesday, March 6th of 2024. It is 9:10 a.m. If one of you gentlemen would like to begin with the motions.
I'd like to make a motion that we review and waive the reading of the minutes for February 21st, 2024.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Any changes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
I'm sorry, I skipped one on my list. That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Oh, okay. That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by the various departmental offices, the commission will take the necessary action deemed necessary.
Okay. That being said, that motion's on the floor. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. We do have our public comment period. No one signed up. Just want to clarify there's no one here for public comment. Okay. Just break till.
Keep rolling.
These are just the formalities that we have to go through on everything.
Okay, we
Yeah.
were kind of confused
Yeah,
there.
we'll-
Oh yeah, it's
We'll key you in when it's your turn.
Yeah, right. We'll pass the mic.
Okay.
We could probably get Betty done. It's not 12. Thank you for getting her.
Yeah, there's certain actions we have to take at every meeting, and that's what we're just rolling through those. We're all used to it, so we go quick. We should look to now. Are there any questions?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Y'all got
think so.
any
Not
questions?
yet.
Right. I don't know.
I'm confused.
Right. It's just the formalities. Just watch Ray. Whatever Ray does, just follow along with him.
We're just like one big household. We got to pay our bills and make sure everybody's
Yep.
doing their job.
Above table.
We have with us Betty Griffin, the employee representative for the Wage and Benefit Review Board, with the request of consideration for Easter as a county holiday.
Wow, that's exactly right. So that's what I'm here for. Yeah, I am here to request that March 29th, Good Friday, that the employees to be off. I have spoke to Judge Callahan, and he says he has no problems with this request. So I was just bringing it before the commission. Questions?
Anything from you all? The only point I would make is, clearly I'm all about it, but the only point that I would make is that with our separation of church and state, that we just have the courthouse closed that day. Not make it a reoccurring holiday.
All right.
You know,
So you're
not being on the governor's list. What do you think of that? The governor's probably gonna do it anyways.
Well, he doesn't usually.
Not on Easter?
But he is known to give us some of the various days off. I mean,
Last minute.
yeah.
That's March 29th.
Yeah, it's the last Friday in
Yeah.
March. But
So you're saying make it a one-time thing this year, and then
Yeah.
next year address that at the
Yeah.
let the next rep come forward.
right?
There you go.
No discussion.
And really all that would be is just a calendar of our holiday closings edition anyways, so that's year by year. And we could even just consider that next year at the beginning of the year.
So move.
Motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, this is a motion to for the consideration of closing the courthouse on March 29th, 2024 for the consideration of Easter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Thank you.
And we'll have,
Employees will appreciate you.
absolutely, we'll have that publicized so everybody knows.
Okay,
And just make sure your real estate people know about it too.
okay.
That being said, now we'll take a recess.
Oh, I'll get Brandon.
Okay, we're here now concerning the estate of Lindale McClung, file number 10618. And this is regarding a discussion on the removal of the executive of that estate. That being said, everyone that wants to speak to this matter, if you'd raise your hand. Or anybody else. So what I'm going to do is if you please state your name for the record.
Deborah McClung, I'm the wife of Scotty McClung.
And I'm sorry, who is the executive?
Timothy McClung.
And your name, ma'am?
Ashley McClung.
Anyone else that wants to speak? You have to be sworn in before you can.
Penny, you.
Dad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and your name, sir, for the record?
Teddy Dale.
If you want to, I mean, yeah, you know what's going on.
And you don't have to speak, but just if you think you might.
Yeah.
We both
Yeah.
got the same information, so.
Okay, would you like to put your name for what's your name for the record?
Ted Haley, D-E-O-O-I.
She's the
Barnett.
sister.
What's your last name?
Barnett.
Barnett?
Barnett.
Okay, thank you. And your first name was Terry? Okay, all right. So that being said, all four of you, if you would mind please raising your right hands like this. Including you, sir. Yeah, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in the matter now in hearing, your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you all. So that being said, if you'd please give us an update.
Okay. Mr. Timothy McClung came into our office on September 14th, 2023 to be appointed as executor of this estate of Lindale McClung. A will was presented a few days before that. The will named Scotty McClung as first to act as
That's right.
executor. And prior to being appointed, Scotty McClung appeared in our office on September the 12th, so that was 2 days before the executor was appointed. He signed a document before a notary that stated that he did not wish to be appointed and that the second named in the will to act, which was Timothy McClung, be appointed as executor of the estate. An appraisement was filed in the estate on November the 17th, 2023, so that was within the 90-day period that we requested that has to be returned. The time for claims, it has been published, the times for claims was up February the 2nd. That day or the day thereafter, Mr. Timothy McClung came in and let us know that there was still some business left in the decedent's name that he needed to take care of, so he made us aware that he's still working towards getting everything settled. The will looks to be in proper form and order. The deceased signed each page. It has been notarized and witnessed. It states out very clearly who is to receive what of the property and the assets. There is some property in Fayette County that is to be distributed to the beneficiary. Once this estate is closed here in Nicholas County, we then give them the documents they need to file in Fayette County to show that transfer. So as far as our office goes, Mr. McClung is faithfully discharging his duties as the executor as far as we know and believe.
Okay, if I could see that.
Yes.
What sort of outstanding business remains?
Good luck.
We have.
And how long do you
we
think
needed
that'll
to-
take?
We needed to look more into the time of what, sorry,
You're
getting
good.
nervous here.
You're okay.
So we wanted to make sure that everything was in, plus my dad works out of town. He wanted a little bit more time to look over and make sure that nothing had come in. When we found out about this, we put it to a halt because we didn't want to do anything until this was
Understood.
taken care of.
If you don't do
So
nothing,
we
you do
have-
nothing wrong, right?
Proceeded, yes.
Right,
Or
understood.
stopped.
And do you have a time frame? I mean, while he's reviewing this?
We've actually,
Like a couple of more weeks, a couple more months? What are you looking at as far as your time?
we just need to go over that one last paper and we can turn it in, so within this week.
Okay,
And once we receive the receipts and disbursements in our office, any beneficiaries listed are given notice and are given 10 days to object if they believe there's anything
Okay.
inaccurate in that.
did we receive an objection?
We received an objection to Mr. McClung being over the estate.
And who was that?
That was from Terry Barnett. She believes that the letter is with it. I think she said that he maybe wasn't handling things properly with her objection. But once we receive that final settlement, they'll have 10 days to object to the
At that
final
point,
settlement. So
right.
there's still one more step. I guess what I'm saying is so he can show what he has done with any assets
Gotcha.
in their estate.
Okay. So if you all would like to speak?
Yes. They claim that they halted it. He just withdrew some money just recently. And that's not the only bank that he's closed out. There's 2 other ones. Ones we didn't even have any recollection of.
Are they listed on the list?
There are bank
We
accounts
asked for all the bank records a long time ago. He came in my yard screaming and refused to give them to me. Because the money is supposed to be split between him and Teddy Dale, so we wanted the information. He would not give it to us.
Do you have a response to that?
I didn't, well, sometimes I talk kinda loud, she might took it.
Kind of loud.
She accused me of taking money out of the bank, and I told her I had to shut the thing down and put it all into the estate.
Right.
So that's what I was doing, I had to close that account.
He didn't close the whole thing. There was still 75 cents left in it.
It was closed.
No, it wasn't. I've got proof here.
I got-
And he's been
I've got
forwarding some of the mail, their mail, from their address to his own address.
So your intent is to consolidate all the way down to the estate account?
Yeah, and I got the records,
Another bank account, which he denied he closed.
You have proof of the deposits?
yeah.
Okay. We'll get to that, in general, yeah.
So going back to the
And
truth. Okay.
he has been taking stuff from the estate that is supposed to go to Teddy Dale. Here's one of the proofs. There's the pictures that was supposed to go to Teddy Dale. He took them. They refused to bring them back. And he made Teddy Dale this Sunday clean out his garage and took stuff out of his garage.
I've returned the photos to Teddy Dale.
A bank account opened
The
in Timothy
pictures-
McClung's name that is supposed to be in his address, but it's in theirs.
You probably took the pictures to make copies for
I did.
for the
I made
funeral.
the funeral, and then I returned that to Teddy Dale. My boyfriend was a witness to that. When
When did you
returned the
return
photos.
it? Where's everything else in the closets and everything? Because everything has been taken from that.
I returned it, and he put it in that small room that is near the kitchen. That's where it was put. Teddy Dale, I did return it to you,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. in the
And
closet.
also, another reason we don't trust him, he had his father's bank cards for the past 4 years. He had no reason to have them. His daughter Ashley had one of the bank cards, so did his wife. Nobody else was allowed to purchase any stuff down there for them.
Well, I tend to understand that because Teddy Dale can't count money.
Yes, I understand that. But
And,
we don't know where all that money went the past 4 years.
right, receipts should have been kept.
Yes, they should have.
This one, if you look, it's just cut off from the top, but it's a truest.
It's true.
Yes, it's truest.
They're listed on the appraisal, both of those accounts, so there's nothing, they're both listed for public view.
Yeah, but why did he take the 900 out when there was supposed to be over 2,000 in there? Why did he take a little bit out at a time?
Maybe it is.
Well, where's the bills?
Do you
Don't we
have
need to see
I
those?
have all the documents.
Do you have any
right here.
record of what $809.45 was withdrawn for?
That was withdrawn because we wanted to make sure all bills were paid. So after the bills, we waited a couple months or more than a few, and then we took it out and we put it into the estate. I have proof that we put it into the estate account,
Which is the.
And another thing,
which is the one at United.
and another thing, he coerced my husband into signing that paper. He told him he was going to the bank to withdraw money. And he tricked my husband into coming here because he is afraid of Kim.
So in my mind, what this boils down to is there's X number of dollars, $21,945.86. That's either gonna be accounted for through account totals or any sort of disbursements that went out with receipts.
Okay, since he had the bank cards and stuff, nobody else can look in those banks to see where that money went for the last 4 years.
So anything prior.
He
of
should
course.
have receipts for the last 4 years while his dad was still alive.
That's not what we're dealing with at this point.
Right. Of course,
Right,
anything
we're dealing
prior
with-
to the deceased.
Right, yeah, we're dealing with statements and any account
Okay.
balances upon death of the gentleman.
Not our problem.
Okay.
And anything that is paid out of the estate, of course, and I think we've discussed that with them, would be shown on the
Correct.
receipts and disbursements.
Correct.
And we can absolutely, if there's question of what exactly it was, they could produce receipts and we can attach that to the final settlement, so that all that's sent together.
So the amount we're concerned with is $21,945.86.
Absolutely.
This is all the bank statements and everything. I put Post-its on it, so that way you can kind of see what he's been doing. All the receipts that he has handled is right here.
And I'm not sure if this may be some part of the contention, but we always advise that executors do not distribute anything into the estate, out of the estate until after it is closed through your signature.
Okay, he has been also taking stuff from the estate for his own.
When you're talking about anything that'll be dispersed out from the will. If you're paying bills and doing, and the
Yes,
estate,
if
you
there's
can
any
pay.
money left over
Right.
that is to be dispersed, or anything, vehicles, any
After the
personal
estate's
property, we
closed.
ask that they wait until after the estate is closed so that we can make sure
Huh?
that everything has been done properly.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And there's another matter. My brother-in-law has money locked up in the back of a car. He refuses to give him his money. We don't even know if it's still in there.
The part of this estate.
Yes. Yes, it is. Everything that was left on that land goes to Teddy Dale, and some of it has already been taken. Not just the pictures, there's a bunch of other stuff that was taken too. None of that stuff should have been taken. The day after the funeral, Tim went and took everything out of that house. And he does not have it on the form why he took it. It's not even documented as that it was on the property.
You all have a response to that?
She's
I
on.
know. That's what I just told
I've
him.
not took nothing off the place.
Yes, you did.
What did I take?
Ask Timmy. Ask
The one
Ask
thing.
Teddy Dale, ask
Ma'am,
Terry.
Ma'am, the one
Everybody
thing we're
knows.
gonna ask is that everybody be civil and everybody be calm and everybody talk.
Well,
in
he's
manners. Well, but that's subjective, right? So we're all
Okay.
gonna talk in the same tone and just be respectful, please. It makes us go a lot smoother.
I ain't took nothing off the place.
Well, he's lying. He's under oath.
I cleaned up the garage so we'd have more room to put the mowers and the four-wheeler in there. He'd have more room. Everything is thrown up in the corner, stacked in there.
He also took stuff out of the house, not just under the carport. There was stuff in the house. The day after the funeral, we went down there. Him and Ashley both went down there and took everything out of that house. Everything.
Could you produce a list on that?
No, because he didn't write it down. We weren't down there when he took the stuff, but you can ask Teddy Dale. He lives there.
Are you familiar with what it might have been?
He wasn't even allowed to watch him take the stuff out of there. There was a jewelry box full of jewelry. There was those pictures. What else was down there, Charlie?
So
Clothes.
these were
Yeah, there was a
returned.
little bit of
Those were
everything.
returned.
And sir, you can confirm that.
Can you
These were
confirm
returned.
that? Teddy Dale, did you get the
yeah.
pictures back? When did you get them?
I got them back.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I returned those because I wanted to make copies, because it was great to see.
Understood.
But
So-
I returned them because of the family. Like,
Gotcha.
I'm not selfish. I would never, and that upsets me. You know, that was my grandparents' pictures that they kept of the family.
Great.
Ashley, you know that your dad went down there and took stuff out of that house, not just the pictures. You were there.
I
You
was
were
not
there.
there.
Yes, you were.
Tulsi, Can I ask my brother something?
Go ahead.
What did
Hold
that
on, one
take
second,
out
hold
of the
on,
house?
one second.
We'll acknowledge it, yes, you can.
Ma'am, we're running the court. I need you to calm down, and I need you to stop trying to direct what's going on here, please. I understand there's emotions flying, I understand you don't feel that you're being served here, but we run this, please.
Go ahead.
If I took anything off the property.
No.
And, why did you clean out the garage?
Like we put the lawnmowers and the four wheels.
Did I take anything?
No.
Everything went in the garbage bags, trash.
Yeah,
You took it to
paper
the
boxes and all that. Trash.
And she had the pictures because of the funeral, and I told her, we need to get those back over there. And I kept asking her, and she took them back, she told me.
Yes, I took them back. It was within a month,
Just one moment.
but I did return them.
Okay.
Okay, there's something else too. The death certificate lists that his dad died over at his place. He didn't. He died with Teddy, at Teddy Dale's. He was living with Teddy Dale at the time of his death. The death certificate is wrong.
Okay. But that would definitely be a civil matter, so
Okay.
that's not something that we can,
Death
Address here.
certificates would have to be changed to the funeral home
Yep.
where the deceased was.
And he also brought a funeral director from Fayetteville to do the funeral instead of from Mount Lookout. Mount Lookout's where the funeral was held, but the death certificate says that he was at his location upon his death, and he wasn't. He died over in Beckley, but he did not live with him. He lived with Teddy Dale. He lived in Mount Lookout at the time of his death.
can you confirm that?
Can you confirm, did you live with Mount Lookout?
Yeah, we might look out.
Yeah.
Might look out.
And he's the one that took care of his father, and his father lived with him. Yeah.
I took your dad. Then he got down on me.
And Terry was the one that called the ambulance the day they came and got him.
I'm trying to understand. You're saying that it put the, now what is it, your complaint with the death certificate?
The death certificate states that Lindell lived with him at the time of his death, and he did not. He lived with Teddy Dale.
I'm looking to see that, and no, it actually mentions
Terry's got it, doesn't she?
the Burr Road on here.
Thank you.
I could be wrong if I'm looking at that wrong, but that could be a civil error.
Well, I don't understand why a funeral director from Fayetteville would show up and not Mount Lookout. That guy didn't even know Lindell.
That was a pastor.
Yeah, why did he show up from Fayetteville?
Because they couldn't find anybody else.
We tried to get Eric Schaefer, and he was.
Yeah.
There you go.
We had to do it short notice.
So this,
There's more pages.
examiner
Is there any more
certificate of
pages than
death,
that?
which is the death certificate, lists the Hospice of Southern West Virginia as the location of.
Yeah, he did die in hospice. Yes, he did.
Right.
But on the death certificate, it
This
claims
is the
that.
death certificate.
Okay, but that paper right there we got too, said that that's where he was living at the time.
That was a typo probably.
I don't know.
It's a typo.
They probably just put this in there. I don't even see why this even matters.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, this
It's
is,
not
this is not,
relevant
this is
to-
not relevant.
No, this is part of the estate.
Thing that they wrote up.
Is that- On your, you got it in there.
No, that's not death certificate. It should be 951 Burr Road. Which I can change that.
We don't have that. What do you got on
Now,
your-
407 Memorial Gardens Road in Victor.
That's Timmy's address.
That's my place.
Okay. Thank you.
yet?
Do you have?
I can fix that. I
Yeah,
can
this
fix
is
that
the whole
resolution.
thing, I believe.
Okay.
That's the whole
Do you have
thing,
that
I think so.
Did he sign? Did he do that?
Yes,
Can I see that?
yes.
You-
I
You
can
just-
fix the place of residence. That's no problem. It could have been, sometimes if we get a working copy of a death certificate, it might have different information, but it doesn't really change any process, but I can change it on there to show that his address was the Burr Road address.
Okay.
It's not a problem.
And then, is there a reason you left the 74 cents in the account, didn't close it out yet?
I thought we closed it out.
No, we told him the day he came over that it wasn't closed and there was still 74 cents in there and he denied it.
Okay.
Do you have any documentation where they closed it out? Some banks do, some banks don't.
Well, and let me ask another question, Joe, with in detail. Did you just look at the account balance and write a check, or did you actually go into the bank and close it?
We went into the bank
Yeah,
and we spoke to a, Tony.
yeah, because we got all the receipts and everything. And they closed everything, and then I took it to the next bank and put it all in that trustee thing.
And that's what we would be looking for, that, you know, whatever the individual account totals would be the cumulative total in one bank.
Okay.
Which
I'm
one
gonna
is
let you
present?
look in here because you know what you've got
Yeah.
going on.
They're not-
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
But you gave it to them.
Mr.
The true
You,
list where you post
Mr. McClung, did you sign this?
Before,
Stating you
before
did
we,
not want to be
before we do
executive.
that, sir, if you don't mind, I didn't swear you in. Would you raise your right hand? Okay, and state your name for the record.
Scotty McClung.
Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the matter now in hearing, your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now you may proceed. Sorry.
Did you sign this in
Yeah.
front of a notary that you gave up your right to be the executive?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then that left you, so you took on that responsibility.
I went over there and I said, well, we need to dissolve this, and he said, well, I ain't got a driver's license.
Yeah, I didn't have no driver's
Yeah,
license.
And
he didn't have
I
no
said, well,
identification.
I said, well, we can go over there if you want me to do it. And so we come over here, and a police officer had to identify him so she could do it. Now, I didn't force
But
nobody.
we're clear on that. You took on the responsibility,
Yeah.
and now you don't like it, is what it's come down to.
No, it's not that. He thought that he was taking him to the bank to get the money out, but that's not what he did. He took him.
This isn't the bank, man. This is. the
I know
court.
that, but he took him here
But he
instead.
came here and signed this.
Yes,
And you weren't under duress. You didn't have a gun to your head.
No.
You okay?
No,
Okay. So
it was to get
you were the one
$2,500.
that
See?
knows the most. Are you okay
$2,500
with your
for a
brother
funeral to
being
be
the
paid
executive?
for.
see, that's what he thought it was for. It was for
No, I don't.
$2,500 to get out of the bank. He didn't understand when he came here what he was signing,
Why did we get $2,500 out of that?
to pay for the funeral.
To pay for the funeral. For
Was the funeral expenses paid?
Yes, we paid the funeral expenses.
So they're
There's
paid, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that's the reason.
And we went to the form.
No, we never
Well, to
even.
step back from the bank conversation, did you want to be the executor, or did you mind that Timothy McClung was the executor?
At the time, I didn't mind, but, you know, I don't know, I don't care to be executive. But
Timmy told him he couldn't be because he didn't have no ID. But then he went and got ID, and we told Timmy that he had the ID, and he didn't want to change it back to him. But that's what he
But
initially
with the
told him.
document signing it over,
And I was
Yes, and the
It's
document,
already
and the
been-
document was read to him before he signed it.
okay.
yeah, and it's done went so far too, I don't know how far it's went. I don't know how much longer it's got.
What's the date on that document?
11/4/23.
Where,
Oh, sorry.
where are we at
Not true.
in the process of the estate?
Okay, so in the process, we are now towards the end, where at any time when the executor is ready, they can bring us in the receipt and disbursements, which acts as the final settlement. We can attach to that any receipts they have. What they have to do is list all of the personal property, the executor, that came into their hands when they became appointed over the estate, which would be the personal property and the bank accounts. They have to make an accounting showing everything that they have paid out of the estate since that money came into them. Then Whatever's left over, I believe there were 2 beneficiaries who are to receive monies if there are any. Then we show on that how that money is split between the 2. That will be sent out to all beneficiaries. They'll have 10 days to review it. They can object to it if they wish. And then it will come, of course, to you if there's no objection to be signed off on. Then after that time, anything that's in the will to be distributed could be distributed after you all have approved the final settlement.
The final settlement, once you receive it to your office, do all beneficiaries, just like this meeting, will receive notification and a copy of
Yes,
that?
each one, they'll receive copies of everything we are given,
And they'll still have an opportunity
and
to
they
object
still have an opportunity to object
If
to
they
what
have any
is presented
concerns
to
of-
them, yes,
Do you,
how things are being dispersed.
yes.
do you, I don't know who I'm talking to, you or you, but do you have the final accounting done?
I cannot find, but if we look in here, I'm pretty sure.
This is your stack.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
And I just helped Dad with this because it was a lot and he didn't get to process his dad's grief.
Right.
So I tried to be an extra set of eyes and ears on for this. Wow. Right here, it does say account closed out. If you read right here, it says account closed out.
Yeah.
This one's still active.
No, you're right. It's the
It's the truest.
the truest. The 80945.
And the money, that 809, where did it go?
It went straight into
It went
United.
into United.
To the truest, I'm sorry, to the estate account.
Yes. And if
Not
you
the other
look,
Which
account.
this is the estate account. Or
No.
did you have a separate account for
No.
the estate?
no, you're looking at the 74 cents that is like where they take the fees. But the 19,000,
Uh-huh.
I think, let me see right here.
That was what went
This is
to-
what's in there right now.
In this account?
Yes,
So you're considering this the estate account?
yes.
Another thing I don't agree with, he hasn't kept anybody updated. Anytime anybody asks for information, he just blows it off. He hasn't kept anybody updated. We had to come to the courthouse, get all the information for ourselves. He won't tell anybody what's going on.
Any information he has presented to our office has been sent in the mail to each beneficiary. No mail has
No,
been
this is
returned
what-
to us. So as
This
far
is
as
what
we
we're
know,
interested in.
everyone has received
all the information
appraisement,
that the
anything that has been
clerk's
sent
office
here.
has.
But I told you all
Just
before.
Hold on one
today.
second, hold on one second. Yes, sir.
Nobody's called me from over there or nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
He works out of town, full-time job, and then he's also staying out of town. So he is doing this and not getting a thing for this. He's just trying to make sure that his dad's debts were taken care of and that everything is taken care of. He's getting nothing out of this. And
Yes.
full-time job.
One reason we might not be getting the mail, he has been forwarding the mail to his house. We haven't got half the stuff we should have gotten.
He's the executor. He can forward it to his house.
Anything.
He's forwarding their mail. He's been doing it for the last 4 years. It's not just now.
Maybe the post office is forwarding it, but I'm sure he just put his dad's.
Okay, I got another question. When my mother, Eileen Jean McClellan, died, she left that school some money. We never did get the money.
See, that's another reason he's
She
not
must be-
trusted.
She would be promised my mom that that school would get the 10,000.
Oh, there was 20,000, Terry, plus the money that he sold for the lumber. They sold lumber off of there too. So there should have been 40 to 50,000 is what Betty told me.
No.
So this is a whole bunch of hearsay we're getting into in a previous estate and everything. This has
But
nothing
we
to do
never
with
got-
I understand the credibility that you guys are trying to get. I really do. I really do.
When do I
you
go
guys
to
have
the
anything else?
volume
Who
play?
passed away first?
Jeannie did. She died in a car
So
accident.
then everything she had went to the dad, regardless. So that's a whole different thing.
No, she took the money and put it in his account.
Yes, sir.
Boy,
That's
They started accusing me when mom passed away that me and mom had an account down there, and I told her no because we was dealing with her baby's death at the time. And I was down there, and me and mom had discussed Mom says, we need to figure this stuff out, and I got involved with the baby, the hospital, and then right after, we got back, she passed away in a car wreck. So I never got to talk to her until that day.
Now, like you mentioned, you had put this process on pause to see what happened here today. How soon do you think you could produce a final settlement to the clerk's office?
You think today or a week?
Yeah, probably today.
Today we.
So even by Friday of this week, at
Yes.
the worst case?
Within a week, we definitely could have it. I'm pretty sure we've got it, but we want to have the lady look it over, make sure that we're looking and thinking correctly.
Well, our recommendation, let them
Well,
file the
right.
rescission
The ear is
first,
fly.
we send it out, and then if there's. an
There
objection,
was-
objection.
But what,
But-
There is a
Give them
Honda
the
three-wheeler
20th before next week.
over at
Okay.
Dad's that wasn't mentioned in the thing.
See?
And you know, Timmy's doing his, and yes, this is a mess, and he's trying to get it cleaned up the best he can. I think he ought to take that three-wheeler as payment.
No, I did her stay there, it was Keith's, stay in the place.
Well, but it ought to be yours.
No, I don't want it, I want it to stay over there. on the
Okay.
place. And that's just the way I felt about it. Anything was dad and mom's,
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a list.
I left there.
Right.
I don't
Y'all
want
got
it.
it.
So you gotta look at it as it's Tossie's place, it's Tossie's.
Leaving on,
Now-
His
so
stuff.
file the reports and,
If you
disbursements
remember when
by
Mom died
3/20.
back in November.
If they have any issues with it, they can contest it at that point, right?
Because then you actually have more documentation and stuff like that.
Person says she's
All right, Gary's gonna make a motion here on what we feel like is the right thing.
we can open it for discussion.
My advice to you guys is, your family, get along, don't spend all your inheritance on lawyers, and that's what you're about to do if you don't just get this done. I'm talking that loud. So, the best thing to do is, we're gonna make a motion right now, what we feel, and if you wanna take it further, both of you get lawyers and waste all your money.
So I'll make a motion that we allow Timothy McClung to remain as the executor of the state. When the receipts and disbursement is released, any challenges that you guys have with anything that's listed in the will as part of the estate and only part of the estate, definitely feel free to challenge it. We'd like that filed no later than 3/20. That gives you a little week and a half. We can process whatever, that way we can make sure everything's clean. All the accounts are closed and everything is cleaned up. And when we come back, if you guys decide to come back here, please discuss only what's in the will. Unfortunately, this is a learning experience for many people as we see them come through here. And if it's not listed in the will specifically or itemized, you can't produce a receipt for something. It's basically null and void to us. Now, if you say I have a receipt for a gun in my father's name and we can't account for that gun, that's when we get into stuff and things like that. But if, you know, like tools and stuff like that, there's no receipt. There's nothing we can do. So we're just trying to uphold the law at this point, sir.
And I don't mind sharing, if they come and ask, I'll show them what I'm doing.
Right.
All they gotta do is call and ask.
Well,
I did.
It'll go through the clerk's
I
office.
did do that.
They'll validate all the numbers, and then you guys can see what's left and what's accounted for, and if there's any sort of delta in the numbers, right? Then you guys will be able to catch that. So let's say that there's $19,000 and you only come up with the receipts in cash, in total 17, then we'll have $2,000 dispute.
Like he's just said, he'd explain it to us and stuff if we asked. I did ask.
Right.
But if he's gonna get hateful when I ask, I'm not gonna ask again.
But we can't rule on
Yeah.
that.
Put it in writing. Yeah, ask in writing.
Yes.
Can't yell for a
With a
letter.
certified
Yeah.
letter.
True.
Well, she come out screaming at me.
No,
"Why did I
you
take
were-
This is
that
what we
money
don't
out?"
want to do.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
let's go back to the motion
He was the
here.
one screaming, not me.
Let's go back to the motion here. And for clarification, if you'd state your motion one more time.
All right, I make a motion that we allow Timothy McClung to remain as the executor of the estate. And if we need all the paperwork finalized and receipts and disbursements, if there's any issues with that, once it's released, then we could actually be glad to see you guys come back again. We need everything finalized and submitted by 3/20.
Okay, that motion's on the floor. Could I ask for an amendment?
Oh, yes.
That the deadline be March 14th, which would be next Thursday, in case we need to place this back up on the agenda.
Fair.
Okay, I got one more
Okay.
question. Mom, you know, my dad left the bomb from AGB, me and but we shot in Timothy. Who would pay the tax on that? Can I up and pay the tax, or how does this work?
It's a gift, it wouldn't be any tax.
How does it work?
It'd be a gift, it wouldn't be any tax.
Do I have
What kind of taxes are you referring to?
Property tax.
Well, anyone who has ownership interest in it can pay the taxes.
Well, the executor takes it out of the estate for now, right?
Yes.
And, okay,
Yes, and there was a
Does the
receipt.
tax pays for that?
until after you all are settled. After it's settled, then you all can figure that out.
Then we can figure that out.
Yeah, and on 2/5, it said, lists the Nicholas County property taxes were paid. I don't have that exact receipt in front of me, but from what I can see, that they were paid in Nicholas County. Yes, sir.
That's one thing we gotta get together and discuss is that y'all gonna have to, so much and must pay taxes on it. And if you wanna get a survey, I'm willing to get my part surveyed, pay part of the survey bill. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's already listed as parcels, isn't it? Yeah, so it's already listed as parcels.
I believe it's already broken out. I believe you would already have a legal description.
No, it's specifically, it's specific.
Yeah. So I don't think, if you want a survey, it's a free country, but I don't think we'd be required to do so. But that being said, that motion is still on
You
the
all
floor.
talking about closing the account and everything, does that include like us going over and dispersing the knickknacks of our mother and?
Right, that is all.
Those have been taken. Those are not there anymore. The pictures aren't there. Well, the pictures are, she brought them back, but there was knickknacks there, there was all kinds of stuff. Nothing documented because no receipts were paid, but there was a bunch of stuff there.
Unfortunately, that part would be a civil matter,
Okay,
and that would be an upstairs in the courtroom.
okay.
On stuff like that, yes, sir.
When my mom passed away, if I ain't mistaken, Angela, Terry, y'all got together and got mom's jewelry,
I
right?
didn't have nothing in it. I just got it
No,
back.
Tim told me there was more jewelry left and he got the rest.
No.
So he got some too.
No.
You're under oath.
Okay,
You're
okay.
under oath.
I'm under oath,
He's under oath of the commission,
Yes. Okay.
not anyone else.
and I'll tell you
But
what.
anyways, we have a motion on the floor, and we're gonna go back to that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. And again, there will be a final appraisement filed with the county clerk. All beneficiaries will receive a copy of that. If there's any objection at that time, of course, absolutely, you have full right to come back, and we'll be glad to do those itemized things and have some more documentation to it and all that.
I would like to do one more thing,
Okay?
just to make sure, because there's been some issue about people receiving notifications. So Angela Prox, are you
Right
here?
here.
She's
Okay,
there.
you are P.O. Box 425 Birch
No.
River. Okay, because that's the address you gave us yesterday when you called in.
No, I called in to
Okay,
get
so you're
1380.
1389 Anthony
Yes.
Creek Road. Terry Barnett, you are P.O. Box 162 Mount Lookout. Linda Wilson, you are 2448 Ward Road.
3448 Whoa.
Yes, okay. Patricia Wilford,
She's not here.
okay. Ted McClung, you're 951 Bird Road. Okay, and Scotty, you are 269 Bird Road.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Did you say 2438 or 34?
I said 2448.
I think she said 30.
What?
Get a clarification.
3.
3448, okay, thank you.
Hers 3448.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Thank you all, and we wish you all luck in getting all this set up.
All right, thank you.
We have Farrell Griffith with us representing Levacy People's Place. This is regarding the generator estimates for Levacy People's Place facilities.
Finally got them all.
Okay,
There's a lot of problems with myself, medical, everything else to take care of, so I didn't get them as quick as I thought. I did get the other three like you all requested, where it had updated stuff on it, and there's 3 of them here, same 3 or 4. There is a little bit of difference in them. I don't know how you all take care of this, is what you...
if you don't mind,
Yeah.
we won't state anything for the record yet, but we can review them.
Yeah. I talked to different people since I was here last. Ones I talked to recommended I get, instead of a 12, get at least a 24 or bigger because of You've been over there in that building and there's 3 or 4 freezers. It's on down in the main part of the building. And ones I've talked to recommended this smaller generator would only take care of that cafeteria, that's all. Once it's regarded now as the Red Cross Center, or has been for several years. There's Red Cross cots and stuff like that that they put in there in case of an emergency.
Okay. And while you review those, I'm going to bring Director McGinnis into this conversation. What's our generator contract company name?
Crusader.
Crusader.
Yes.
Have they reviewed the ones at Craigsville PSD?
I know I called them and talked to them, but I haven't.
To my knowledge, they have, right?
Yes.
I don't know if they've
Pretty sure
looked
they
at
did.
them.
I'm pretty sure they did.
They did?
Yeah, I think Rich Erie's dad, Larry One, did.
I can ask.
And the reason I bring that up is they're not. They appear to be in pretty good shape, and if they checked out mechanically,
They want to give them to us.
they want to give multiple to us. And what we had hoped to do is if we could do that, it'd benefit both of us and save the county some funds and still have a generator. And what I was going to propose while they reach out was that we even put it on our, because it is a American Red Cross and warming center at times, shelter, that it would be placed on our maintenance route. So we would actually provide maintenance and upkeep of it and stuff like that. Just to, just to ensure, we have a good unit that's staying good for what we need on that. Of course, that would probably still require some wiring into the building, which I don't have a problem with.
So I don't understand. Lusk, their bid is part of it the materials and part of it labor.
It's supposed to be all together with theirs.
So it's this, but then
Yeah.
you jump over here, it's this.
Yeah, I guarantee it because, see how this generator, the front one doesn't. It's all talking about the operations and transfer switches and all that. So, well, now it's got a generator too.
It's just install A.
It's installation, and then
And
there's
that's a 36.
okay.
That's the two different.
Okay, so they both are
I wonder why
generators.
this says this amount. And then, but it's this amount.
Yeah.
And then Alpha only gave you one price.
Yeah.
For a big one.
Yeah, the one we put.
Okay, there's actually 3 on here. 24 is this, 26 I'm assuming is this, and 36 is this. So I guess he gave 3 different generator
Three
options.
different prices.
Yeah.
And it's installed.
Same specs for a 26 versus a 24, and then a 36 408.
So 24 here
Yeah,
is this amount.
so yeah. So there's $400 off.
Okay, and then 48, is there a 48?
There's not a 48, there's only a 36.
Is there a 48? What size is this one? 50.
50. So, I mean, they're all, for the kilowatt, they're all kind of in range. It scales with the power, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You know what size they are, Craig?
They went from, I think, 20 to 200. One of them's huge. He said you probably run the hospital off of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one we talked about, maybe trailer.
What about the status of the one, what about the status of the one that would become the paperweight? Have they ever solved they could unfreeze that motor?
No, it's done.
Yeah, it was taken to a mechanic shop.
Well, Buck and them still have it, but it would cost more to get it fixed than a new one. Yes.
Because I believe Craigsville had 3 or 4.
4, I believe.
4.
I know the other day they told us if you want them, come and get them.
Take them.
We want-
Yeah.
So we need.
Big intergovernmental transfer.
Could you
Yeah,
go,
that's an option.
well, we probably want them regardless. Could you
Yes.
make arrangements to get them?
Yeah, I can get with Buck and, because the one trailer, the biggest one, we'll put that on a trailer ourselves and keep that as a mobile in case of emergency in any of the.
Do we have any other trailers
We have two.
for generators?
Yes, we have the one
That's what I thought.
that we had previous, and then the one we bought for the new 911 center.
Come off a trailer.
Come off a trailer. So we have two trailers available.
Oh, I thought you left that other trailer just back in there.
No, we couldn't. We had to take it off to meet code.
Yeah, they didn't want mobile.
So we could actually make a couple of.
Yes.
A couple of mobiles.
Yes, sir.
And potentially, which I mean, we'd have to give a total priority. I'd even thought about potentially putting a mobile unit at Legacy People's Place. And that way if it needs service or whatever, they can haul it off, bring it back, whatever. Or in the unforeseen circumstances, we have a situation in another area and you still do have power, we might hold it. But that'd be cooperation, not just come get it, not tell you about it or anything like that.
Yeah, I understand that.
But just to
part.
kind of keep it mobile.
As an emergency.
Yeah, with us doing the maintenance and everything else, just to, as a worst case. But if we have a 200, we probably not gonna need it a lot.
No, I don't think so.
I pray we don't need it a lot on the scenes.
Did they just swap the generator or did they do the transfer switches too at the same time? So is that available up there?
Which one?
The ones at Craigslist?
Oh,
I'm not sure. I didn't go look at them. I knew what wattage and stuff they were, but Buck and his dad went up and handled all that stuff.
And they said that, Richard said he hasn't been there, but he doesn't know if Buck and his dad, he was gonna
Okay.
find out from them. Just tell him there too, if he can make that a priority, we need to know right away.
what I would recommend is are these your originals or copies or?
I've got your copies of one from, I've just got one from over here, yeah.
Okay. What I might recommend is if we could have our staff make copies of these and hold these,
Yeah, that's fine.
get one final walkthrough on the generators in the next 2 weeks, and then we can revisit it one more time.
Where could we, if we had to buy, where could we take it from? Or something like that?
What could do, still a little bit interesting, really long. Or from there,
Okay.
or potentially the Korea.
We will have you a answer.
I believe it's the 20th.
For our next meeting, we'll give you an answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't even have to come back. If you get us copies of these, we'll make a decision on the next meeting when we have all the information.
And just get back with you. That way-
Okay. You want me copies of those?
Well, if you would, we'll go on recess, and we'll get
Okay.
Patty in here, we can do that real quick if you don't care, and that way you don't have to come back.
Okay.
I'd like to request an executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 concerning personnel matters. Okay, that motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. It is 10:13 a.m. And if everyone would leave the room except for legal counsel. Okay, it is 10:37 a.m. I'd like to request a motion to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4. Again, this was a, motions on the floor, discussion. This was a personnel matter, and no decisions were made during that time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry, and we are back in general session. That being said, we apologize for running a little late today. Sometimes we have some agenda items that go over and a little bit of business to come up. But regardless, we have with us now Ms. Rhonda White, the president of the Old Main Foundation, with a request of help getting carpet for the conference room at Old Main. And Ms. White is joined this morning by Mr. Joe Strickland. So thank you all for coming in this morning, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. We are doing constant renovations, updates, repairs to keep Old Main as beautiful as possible. By the way, we have now 3 board members here. Also, Mr. Tucker is on our board as well. And I appreciate their coming to give me moral support, I guess. Anyway, what we're here asking for today is our conference room. The carpeting in there is very, very old, frayed, dirty, and in bad condition. So we would like to replace that flooring. That flooring already has a wooden platform underneath it, and it's very level. The estimator from the carpet and floor store that I gave you a copy of their estimate, and Joe and I helped pull up the corner of that. That old carpeting was just stuck down with 2-sided tape. And it was very easy to look at the subfloor all around, and it's wood, and it's in good condition. It's not deteriorated anywhere at all. So what we want to do...
Let me interrupt you for a
Yes.
second. This is one of my companies that she has the estimate from, so I'm going to leave the room and abstain from this and let you guys handle it from this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, the wooden subfloor is in good condition, does not need to be replaced. But we do need to put down a moisture barrier first, and then what we have chosen is a good quality, long-lasting planking to go in there. Now, the estimate that I gave you does include tax, and we are tax exempt, so that would not be what we're asking for. We're asking for the $4,956.36 to do that. Are there any questions?
I don't think I have, so I actually use the same product myself, so I know it's a good product, so that's good. That's good. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
What I would recommend, of course, our COVID days are slowing down with our funding, but I definitely think we should contribute something towards this. What I would probably even recommend would be $1,000 towards it, and try and help you along with the project, and do what we can at least to, try to help as much as we can while we still can with Old Main.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The past few people have been in, we've got a potential $300,000 piece of metal sitting outside we're going to have to replace, which is our HVAC. We're running on 50%. We're running on half unit 100% now instead of both units 50%. So I'll make that motion for $1,000, provide financial assistance for that flooring.
Okay, that motion's on the floor. Is there any further discussion? I would request that be taken from, is coal severance acceptable? Yeah,
coal severance.
Coal severance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate what you all do at Old Main.
Thank you.
Would you mind running and get Craig? I think he's in the box office. For the record, we did contribute $1,000 to the Old Main Society towards this project. That being said, of course, we're still running behind. But I had placed on the agenda real estate matters concerning the McClung House. Actually, in the meantime, we'd actually received a verbal offer on this. Under advice from legal counsel, we would like to actually receive that in writing before we even discuss it, if that's okay. If y'all like to talk about it, that's fine. My whole point is just, we were very fortunate with getting the Summersville Post Office for $1 for a 911 center and didn't have to build one in the hillside located behind what's referred to as the McClung House down here on Court Street. And so, just like to dispose of that property. And overall, no matter what we do, I think it's good to dispose of it because frankly, Commissioner Chapman's leadership on getting us the post office, and I'm not just saying that, but truly, with the GSA relationship he built, we should save this county what?
$7 million.
$5 to $7 million in not having to build a new building. So we, even though we bought the property, held on to it for a long time, tried to keep it up, if we can save $1 million, I'm excited. If we can save numbers like that, that's even better. So just definitely just want to keep that on our radar to get rid of it, but would like to table that for now and see if we can get something in writing on the proposal before we decide to auction or what we decide to do.
Give us a written offer with everything broken down, spelled out in it, so there's no question, because verbal transactions, he said, she said, this way, it's in writing, we got it.
Okay.
And that clears everything up. You good?
Okay. So that being said, we'll consider that table. We're to commissioners' comments. I want to acknowledge Commissioner Roberts with his being the president of the park board with the Act A Full for the pool. Unfortunately, couldn't take part, but Commissioner Commissioner Roberts represented well of the commission, Commissioner Claus, as they might say, right. And did some good fundraising for the park. So. I don't think I have anything else. There's nothing really going on.
Yeah, so we had a good time out there. The one thing I wanted to explain to folks, you have 3 commissioners, and 3 commissioners are not always going to show up to your events. We do the best we can for everybody to show up and do things and partake, but we divide and conquer the best we can as well. That way we can put full attention to more matters. In other words, we can have 3 people at one event, or we can have 1 person at 3 events. I think we like to divide and conquer and make sure that we're in our wheelhouse. And I told them that one dummy don't equal 3, something like that. I made a comment, but anyways, so we were able to raise a little over $2,000. We'll put that towards chlorine for the pool. Not specifically, but it'll go towards chlorine for the pool, which is going to run about $10,000. We got a little bit of discount on that. But it's just anything we can do to raise money, and I think it was a good fun event.
Absolutely.
Yes.
To watch.
Yes. Yeah. We had 6 jumpers, and we had about probably 50 spectators, and I think it was a good bonding. It was just good, clean fun. And I believe next year we'll have a little bit more turnout because nobody died, and that's always a good successful event when nobody dies. So it was fun. But the only other thing I have is, I'm going to continue to hound on this. We have a dog problem in Nicholas County, and people are going to say we have a cat problem too. We have a pet control problem in Nicholas County. It's bad. We have dogs killing other people's animals. We have dogs attacking people. We have dogs doing things, and unfortunately, we are not a cat county. We do not have a cat program that we fund. We do have donations that come in to help fund a cat program, but that's a drop-off. So, we're going to continue to talk about that. We're going to continue to see that. You're going to see the dog warden out in your area, and we're going to do everything we can to mitigate those issues. But, folks, we're leaning towards, hopefully at some point in time, a leash law, a county-wide leash law, and it'll be reactive. In other words, we don't have the dog catcher running out grabbing every dog that don't have a leash on it, but he's going to be going out and writing some fines, hopefully, in the next couple of years. And we see this daily. We took in 1,055 dogs into the shelter last year, 972 cats last year. We've only had 2 business days in March of it as of yesterday because we were shut down for some maintenance at the shelter. And we've already taken in 12 dogs in 2 days.
How many dogs did you say last year?
1,055.
Okay. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually tracked that. And I was going to ask them to track it, they already did. And I was like, amazing. So we're averaging somewhere around 80 to 90 dogs and 80 to 90 cats a month. That comes at the cost, and this is what I'm saying. The only way we're going to be able to make ground on this, in my mind, is enforcement of the laws, and that's fines, that won't be dismissed. Right now I think we are very lenient with a lot of things, and one of the recommendations I'm going to make to the team here is that we start upholding those fines. So, now it's, if you get the vaccination, we'll go ahead and not, we'll erase that, or we'll wipe that off, or we'll forgo that at this point in time, unless you're, somebody that's repetitive in the system. But, we have the absence of responsible pet owners, and it's bad. It's horrible. It's actually horrible. And, the other thing is, we are going to, I was going to talk to you two about it, but I don't think it's anything, it's a secret. We have a lot of after hours calls and weekends calls for the humane officer, and that's resulting in a lot of overtime, comp time type of scenario. And the directive I was going to give them is that from now on, the calls are only if somebody's life's at risk. If it's a stray dog, or the dog ran through your yard, or pooped in your yard, or barked at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's a Monday through Friday thing, 9 to 5. Because we're literally racking up a lot of shifting of resources just because somebody's angry at somebody else's dog. There's no life at risk. There's no injury. And we just want to make sure that we're getting that out there. We just need everybody's cooperation. It's becoming a huge issue in the county.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And nobody getting on a high note.
There we go. And on another high note, this weekend is daylight savings, so we'll pick up a little more sunlight in the evenings by a reminder of Clerk Painter. So don't forget to put your clocks back.
That means your day's longer.
Forward. Spring forward.
Yep.
My phone does it for me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta remember I'm the millennial of the group.
You're not changing the time on the VCR, are you?
That's right. I had a VCR.
Right.
I had a VCR.
Mr. Chapman?
That being said, any other business?
No, the only thing is, we have got to get started on the new judges' offices. It's really creeping up on us. I have discussed with the sheriff that we'd like to take the 2 rooms that he's got and do that. I have had extensive conversations with the Supreme Court. And we will be having a meeting with Thrasher, who we chose to work on some of this stuff, and that's going to be the first thing. Then they'll jump into the heating and air plumbing issues. So that's Friday, so if anybody wants to come to that. And it's either at 11 or 1. I can't remember which, but I'll find out. So that's it.
When are they moving to the...
Well, we're talking about that right now. I asked John about that, and he thought that they could wait till fall, but they can't. We've got to get these 2 offices cleared out down here, so I can move circuit clerk down to start the new judges' offices.
We should have occupancy in the next couple of weeks, at least for the sheriff's department.
Yeah, that's what we need.
But not Homeland Security.
Down there.
So at the new location. So at least the deputy sheriffs can move into their individual offices instead of all of them sharing 3 desks, and let them get reorganized down there, as well as the chief deputy. And so I guess we're going to move the sheriff to the.
We're either going to make him a place in here or the jail.
The jail.
He just got to have one.
Right, his
statutory
office has to be in the. But yeah, surely they could put that in the jail upstairs, maybe.
Yeah.
So the sheriff wouldn't be moving down there?
He has to keep an office here, but he
satellite
can have
office.
one there too. But he's.
But
got
his primary location has to be in the facility.
And the deputies would be down there.
The deputies and the chief deputy, and the law clerks.
Yeah.
For the deputies.
Tax office will still stay here.
The tax office will still remain here.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, one more thing. If you guys are watching this on SCTV and you watch it long enough, you're going to see a really tall leprechaun. Looks like this guy over here.
Oh my gosh.
Look at it, have some fun, laugh. One of the things we're trying to do, in all fairness, is we're trying to support all the ancillary groups. And folks, I'm telling you, you won't find a more engaged commission, and I'm hearing in the state. I mean, we hit it on all levels. We have fun. We take the job serious when it needs to be serious. We take the job fun when we need to have some fun. Then we support the fairs and the festivals and all these things that are going on. And most of us are involved in something like that. But it's good, clean fun, and understand it's just us trying to bring in awareness. So, end us on your come down, win a pot of gold, or what was it?
I don't remember.
Win your own pot of gold.
Win your own pot of gold.
Come on down and win your own pot of gold.
There you go.
Nicholas County Fair Bingo. That's this weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Saturday at 5 o'clock.
I filled in because a certain commissioner with that had a good beard was in Charleston.
Hey.
So, but glad to do it.
Trying to jump off the
Glad to
Capitol.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Repelling.
He's having fun with me. Craig's
Didn't have
working.
to go
No, I
for
was
it.
kidding.
Yeah. Motion to adjourn.
But anyways, there is a motion on the floor to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting
That conference room, is that?
at the Nicholas County of the Nicholas County Commission. Today is Wednesday, March 6, 2024, and it is 10:52 a.m.
I've only been there
All
once,
those in
so-
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does
Yes.
carry. We do stand
Okay.
adjourned.
Yeah.